Good evening and salutations, my soap opera fans. So, the question of the night: was General Hospital better in the early 90s and 2000s? I always ask myself that question because, well, that's when I started watching soap operas. I went from One Life to Live, Portrayals, and then eventually General Hospital. How you doing tonight, Jakars? And it just makes me wonder. Jonathan is in the chat. What's good? Got one of my favorites up in the chat tonight. Um, and it always just makes me wonder, was it better back then? And of course, Mel, another one of my favorites. Shauna is in the chat. How you doing tonight? And I don't know. I don't know if General Hospital was better back then, or was just my expectations lower? I'm doing pretty well, Jonathan. How you doing tonight? Doing a lot better each day. I'm not coughing as much, so yeah. Girl says I can't stay long because I'm on someone's Twitter space. Oh, okay, cool. How are you enjoying Twitter space, Jagars? I'm glad you're doing well, Jonathan. Jay-Z is in the chat. What's good? How you doing tonight? The lovely, gorgeous goddess is in the chat. Oh yeah, Jonathan. It was a good one. I almost wanted to review it, but I just didn't have time. Makai is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Oh yeah, I'm still loving it. I want to get some more. I want to get some more. How is it? Oh, it's on my bed somewhere. Queen of the South is here tonight. How you doing tonight? Dolly, another one of my favorites, is in the chat. Alone King of the South. Monique is in the chat. Monique says GHMR was better in the 90s or 2000s. Storylines made you want to watch again, like you couldn't wait to see what happens next. It's like playing Russian roulette, hoping to get lucky. Yes. Jeremy, Jay-Z, I'm actually doing a lot better. I'm actually doing a lot better. Not coughing as much, and so things are good. Things are good. Things are really good so far. John says, what you think of the Wells? Oh, it was great. It was great. Jonathan, I'm not gonna lie, I'm starting to respect Sonny a lot more. When this first character came in, when this first actor came in, he played Sonny very whiny and everything like that. And now I'm just like, first he stood up to Victor, now he stood up to Will. I'm enjoying it. I'm glad you're enjoying Twitter Space, Jakaras. Because I don't know, I was always worried about you going on Twitter like that. I'm glad you're doing well, Queen of the South. Yeah, Jonathan, I'm not gonna lie. I sat there, I was like, I can't. It's amazing, Jonathan, the people that actually still want those two together. I'm like, why would you want him? Why would you want her with a liar like that? Yeah, Makai, I was like, and of course, Bill has the sword necklace. He looks all dark mode and everything. So I'm not gonna lie. When how's his name? I don't know. I don't think so, Jonathan. I don't think that Sarah's gonna turn him in. I don't see it happening. Billy says I'm probably say yes. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, all right. Have a good night, Jakaris. Thank you for stopping by for a little bit. Um, but yeah, no, I'm actually really I'm surprised and well in a good way. Yeah, that's true, Jonathan. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be by Sarah. Yeah, Jay Z. He's in his dark mode now. Auto 20 is in the chat. Auto 20, I was actually thinking about you today because I was like, who I haven't seen in a while? Auto 20. Yeah, everything was better in the late 90s or 2000s. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't exactly, it wasn't so much political um correctness. Kai One is in the chat. We're talking about, well, what's the soap operas you watched back then in the early 2000s better than it is now? Like, was it a lot better back then when you started watching it? Johnson says next Santa will probably have nightmares of EJ killing him. Yeah, Jonathan, I'm like, maybe jail may be actually safer for him. Jail may be a better option. Maybe a lot safer than EJ. I might choose. I might choose jail. I might choose jail. I'm just saying. No, actually, I wouldn't choose jail. I think I would choose EJ, but still. Um, Auto 20 everything. Oh yeah, you just said that. Shauna says just like Carter could have a family with Quinn. How is Kate different? Well, I mean, Quinn left him. You know, Quinn left Carter because the actor left. So Stephanie Forrest was everything. Colin says I didn't really start watching soap opera until late. Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying. In the late 2000s was a lot better. It was a lot better in the late 2000s than it is now. But when you started watching it, Mel says Will has a point to Sonny that Leo drugged him. Yeah, I mean he did, but I mean, if he chooses to forgive him, then he chooses to forgive him. J Carly 98 is in the chat. Yeah, GH was better in the 90s and early 2000s. So the question, I mean, well, why? Why was it better? That's really the question, J Carly. Jonathan, I've been saying the same thing for a while. The minute that those two got together, it was like, Gwen is a much better pairing for you than Sarah is. Dolly says the 90s and early 2000 stories hit different. They were more soap competitions, so they try harder. Okay, that's very true. That's very true. They had like 10, 10 soap operas or more, right? Ottawa 20, everything from Monday, March 1987. We're more darker and edgier and more adult oriented. Well, that's kind of true to some extent, Ottawa 20. He does have a point. I'm assuming that you're a he. Um, I mean, the internet was not exactly easy access, so yeah, I can kind of see that to some extent. Namikaze says yes, I love chasing early 90s. Do you remember when Luke and Laura broke Frank Smith out of prison? No, I do not remember that. But then again, I only started watching in the year 2000. And Johnson says Daniel shouldn't have used rednecks. Jonathan, I'm not gonna lie. The fact that Bonnie, who is normally a dingbat, actually figured that out. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's kind of one of those hiding in plain sights. But even Victor was like, "Yeah, that sounds like a made up name." Dolly says the thing is, Will is the same person who was the best man of his murder. He looks like a hypocrite. Hmm, really? Wow. DeCarly says better writing and the characters played off each other. Okay, very fair point. Mel says Will does not understand to Sonny, how can you forgive Leo after he tried to? No, I get it, Mel. I get it. Trust me, when people forgive other people for certain things, even I do kind of look at them like when Billy forgave Chelsea for drugging him and doing things to him without his consent. Okay. It made me sit there and be like, are you kidding me? And it kind of annoyed me a little bit because I felt like if the roles were reversed and Billy did something to Chelsea without consent, the internet would have went aflame. So I get it. Monique says I just watched a scene when Nina confronted Vic, Victoria about Ryan on YNR. Nina. What? There was a Nina in YNR? Auto 20 says everything was created from. Oh, yeah, you just said the same thing. But I mean, yes, to an extent. Yes, to an extent. Dolly says Sonny accepted as Will's friendship with Ben, so Will should accept Sonny's friendship with Leo. That's very true. That's very true. It got to go both ways. I agree with you. Shauna said, "Oh, what's good, Tracy? How you doing tonight? Thank you for joining. Always great." Oh, Nina is Chance. Of course, there got to be another Nina. Thank you, Makai. How you doing tonight, Tracy? Shauna says Victor really think Adam wants his abused Jack treats him better. That's his family. Sean, I did understand a little bit of where Victor was coming from. He sat there and he was like, "Yo, listen, I want you to come back to the family." It's like trying to please Adam all the time. I feel like at a certain point, Adam kind of needs. I mean, listen, I haven't watched the show as long as you, so I may have a different perspective. But it's like he's reaching out. He's trying to. Um, he's trying to reach out, and Adam just keeps on like snapping at him. So I get it to some extent. Thank you, Makai, for that. Thank you for letting me know. It was not nice for Sonny to slap Will in the face about his. I mean, I get it. Probably shouldn't have brought that up. But let's not sit there and try to act like that didn't happen. Because it did happen. You know, Jolie says Will issue is that Sonny and Leo once hooked up. Yeah, no, that's true. I'm gonna take your word for it because I'm not too sure. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Spider Quake. Trust me. I've been sick a lot of times in the chat, so I feel you. I really do. But I do hope that you get better soon. Rest as much as you can. That's so I can sit there and say rest as much as you can because it does help. Shana says Daniel got his own problems, so why chastise Billy? Very true. But I mean, the stuff that he has going on has nothing to do with Billy. So I do get why he is chastising Billy, although I'm like, I don't think it's warranted. Coleman says, yeah, they consider the early 2000s the last of the golden years of soaps. And I don't think that you're wrong. Tracy, my Xmas was actually really great. It was really great. I got a new mic that I set up. I got this thing that I got to set up tomorrow. So, yeah, my Christmas is pretty great. Um, Mel says I don't blame Will for walking out the door after Sonny chose sides. Okay. Well, I gotta agree to disagree. Nate is in the chat. What's good, Nate? Johnson says it was Will and Paul that got together. Oh, I remember seeing a clip of that a little bit. Mike Quick says I got an infection sore throat. Spider Quake, when I sit there and say I feel for you, because I had that exact same thing that happened. And if you can get like liquid ibuprofen, that will help with the air. That would help with the pain in your ear. Um, if you can go to CVS, if you can go by near CVS, I would get liquid ibuprofen. Trust me, it's like a sensu bean, and it will help. Um, Johnson says, "Do you think Sarah will move back to the mansion to live?" Probably. I mean, yeah, Jonathan. I mean, come on, a mansion or a bunch of roaches. It's not. It's not really. Not really a competition. Um, what's good, Cabo? I gotta go to your channel and sit there and check out that new song. Um, Monique says did the same thing to drug that Chelsea did to Billy. Drug was dropped in. Oh wow. Yeah, Monique. Because says it's Paul and Kristen still married on YNR. Yeah, I saw that today. I didn't know if they were. I didn't even know who Christine was. Into well, until you said something, because that stuff is way before my time. Now, Shauna says Albert, not Victor, had Adam as CEO and as soon. Oh, wow. Okay, all right, Shauna. That's a little bit different then. And you know what? You're probably right because you have been watching the show longer than me. You guys remember I'm coming into this kind of new, so I do get where you're coming from. Dolly says when Will and Sonny were apart, Leo was sent in to seduce Sonny and blackmail him. Yeah, and I heard about that. So yeah, I get it. Will does have a point of being upset. I totally do get that. Tony D is in the chat. Was good. Spotty Quick says I got medicine. I'm taking it later. Oh, okay. All right. I know that's what helped me Spider Quick. Like I had some extra liquid ibuprofen, and at that point, I pretty much just kind of slept. But um, my prayers are with you because I literally the symptoms that you had was the exact same symptoms that I had. And you know that day that I canceled my stream, it was because I was literally going through what you was going through. Oh, okay. All right, Cal. Well, then I'm gonna check it out tomorrow now. Which is great because I actually have off. So no, Kevo. I love my meat. I love my meat. I love my hot dogs. I love my meat. Shauna says yes. Kristen always been in love with Danny. Yeah, it was nice to get seeing some old pictures and stuff. Mel says it was nice. Yeah, no, Mel, that was actually pretty cool. That was actually pretty cool, Alex. I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually really liking Alex as a character. He's surprising me more and more each day. Imagine that. I mean, I wasn't there for the whole Ben and Ciara thing, and to be honest, I wasn't really a fan of them anyway, particularly Ciara. Yeah, Mel, I mean, I saw a little bit of that. Ron is in the chat. What's good, Ron? Ron says, can't wait for Gabby to bust Shen during the wedding. Is it supposed to happen this week? It's supposed to happen this week, right? I gotta start reviewing that show again. Yeah, Cavo. I love my meat. You know damn well what I'm talking about. Um, One says Adam knows that with Victor, there's always an agenda. Speaks so highly of the family, but the minute you decide to break, yeah, that's true. I will give you that, Monique. I will definitely give you that, Monique. What's good, Jessica? How you doing tonight? No, no, there's nothing wrong with vegan. I have no problem. I actually tell you the truth. It's funny because when my friend took me to like this vegan, um, I don't know, maybe it was like a party or something like that, but it actually has some really good food. I will admit because my friend she turned vegan, she loved it, and it was like a festival or something like that. It was actually pretty. It was pretty fun. I had a lot of good food, so I got no problem with vegan stuff. Yeah, Dolly, I feel the same. I like Alex more than Ben, but to be fair, I only started watching the show like 2 years in, so. But I mean, so far I like Alex more than Ben. He just seems a lot more fun, more upbeat. How are you doing tonight, Jessica? I love sushi also, Janet. I do. I haven't had sushi in a while. I may actually have some one day. Not with the chopsticks though. I'm not doing all that. Shauna says, why would Adam go back to Newman Vicky for Vicky and Nikki to treat him horrible? He gets that at your bottom. You have a point. You have a point, Shauna. I don't know. Maybe I just think they're looking at it as a father, so that they're trying to reach out to his son. Um, sometimes you got to sit there and meet people halfway. And I'm not sitting there saying that he deserved the abuse and stuff like that, but I kind of get it to some extent as far as a father and son relationship. Of course, my dad doesn't do, he's not Victor Newman. Um, Tony D says Carly, AJ, and Sonny. Okay. Yeah, Mel, but it took a lot of prying of Phyllis, and I did like the fact that Danny was like, "Let's not coddle him. Let's not do that." Tyron is in the chat. Was good. Yeah, that's well, yeah. I mean, well, Nick, I actually like both of them. You know, Jay Carly, it could be anyone. I thought at one point I thought it was Esme, and then I was wrong. So I just stopped guessing. Well, Who do you think the hook killer is? Jay Carly. Dolly said I was more interesting character. I like his relationship with the show. Ben only really has Sierra. That is very true. That is very true, Dolly. Um, Even when I first started watching, I felt like he was so much more closed in. Like he didn't really have a good circle with him. You know, so I definitely agree with that. Tony D says, "Oh wait, Cheech was better in the '90s." Had Brenda, Sunny, Robin, and Stone. I did like the fact that Tony. I did like the fact that um, Stone did come back for a little bit. I mean, granted, he was just a hologram for, he was just a hallucination for Sunny, but he did come back though. Angelique is in the chat, was good. And again, I just love the fact that Angelique changed her name the minute that I got you that I got to know her name. How are you doing tonight though? Someone says I think it's Brett. I think it's Brett. That is very well. I guess so, Kyron. There's, he did have a lot of Yeah, Dolly, I will agree. They did have more of a budget. They went to more different places. Um, Especially like the Luke and Laura stuff. You know. Yeah. Is it Tyrone or is it Tyron? Ty Tyrone. I hate Miss. Oh, Tyrone. Okay. All right. So I did say your name right. Nikisha's in the chat. Was good. Um. Oh, that'd be interesting, Jonathan. Nate says something that I can't read anymore. What's good, Richard? How you doing tonight? And Nikisha says back in the day, something respect and appreciation for the fans. Now they just don't value fans. Hmm. What makes you say that, Nikisha? Colin says Luke and Laura, three-dimensional stories on the show before there's a lot of great stories. Shauna says Lily hitting my nerves. How many times do Devon have to say no? I mean, I get the idea that Lily does want her family. Uh, Now Angelique says, yes, you learned my name right. Now you don't even need to look at it. Well, Well, like I said, I always sit there and try to learn different people's names and stuff like that. Yeah, no, Ron, I remember hearing about that. I remember hearing about that. I'm doing great, Richard. It's always great to see you in the chat. And thank you for joining tonight. But yeah, no, I heard about that. Blake something. And they says I said that GH was much better in the 90s before it was all about Sonny, Carly, and Jason. Hmm. Thank you for saying that again, Nate. Now, Nikisha says that if they value fans, they wouldn't give three storylines, then rewrite history. And then, so, yeah, that's very true. Yeah, Angelique says GH was better in the 80s and mid 90s. But I don't know. I mean, for me, when I started watching it, I was drew to Jason and Sonny and stuff like that. So I don't know. Exactly. Jay Carly. You think it's one person, and then it's just that's always like I just stopped guessing. Kai Wen just puts up a pink hand. I don't know what that's about. Makai says, I don't think Lily wants Phyllis to be part. Exactly. Well, I mean, a lot of people don't trust Phyllis for some odd reason. Now, I'm late to the game, so I don't know exactly why. Um, Tyrone says is tired of holding everything together and coming up short compared to his siblings. Kaiwan says build a glide age on each wheel is the best. What? Johnson says Trina isn't a legacy character. Shauna says Devon said no. No, I mean, yeah, no, I get it. Well, Shauna, I don't think that she was pushing. I think she was just saying how good it was, and that maybe one day that they can sit there and just kind of reconcile and stuff. I don't think she was pushing. Um, Richard says thank you, and well, it's like I said, it's always great to sit there and see my familiars and stuff like that. See people who've been in the chat before. It's really great to see that. So that's why I'm always grateful to sit there and see all my regulars, Richard. Um, he says, doesn't Trina being raised as Tiger's daughter? That is very true, Nikisha. And Tiger's been on the show for a while, so yes, you're 100% right on that. Yeah, Dolly, that's what I said. She has a point. Mel says Lily got upset when Daniel told her that Danny and Philip are going to work. Yeah, she definitely wasn't happy. She definitely was not happy. Ron says he Phoenix said that the other cast members supported the actor playing Harry. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't. Um, Joshua was in the chat. Was good. How you doing tonight? Well, I mean, Jessica, a legacy character like the daughter of Taggart, and Taggart's been on the show for a while, so I can see that. Just like Cam is a legacy character of Liz. Spencer's a legacy character of Nicholas, so I can see that. Just on an offbeat topic, the show Legacies, the name never made any sense because there was only three people that was legacy characters, and that was Hope, Josie, and Lizzie. So why they called it Legacy is just beyond me. I know it was a stupid reason for that, but well, it was still stupid. No, Tyrone, it's still canceled because the CW and Warner Brothers is a terrible company. Still mad about that. Still mad. I mean, seasons 1 through 3 was trash, but season 4 was actually good. Still mad. Um, Mel says all that Adam wants for Victor and the family is love. Yeah, he ain't getting that. Apparently, he's not getting that. Happy birthday, Joshua. Happy birthday. Let's everyone in the chat say happy birthday to Joshua. Thank you for joining and happy birthday. Now, Jessica says, um, I hate the idea of Klaus having a kid. Oh, having a kid, so I never watched. Johnson says they're not giving any hood on the CW tonight. I mean, Jessica, to be fair, it's not like you missed much, but again, season 4 was actually fire. What the? I don't want to read that. Now, Kyle says who on CW would watch or start watching after a while. Yeah, I mean, it's not for everyone. I trust me, Kyle. I get it. Juanita is in the chat. Was good. Okay, I'm just gonna go back down. Crystal Williams is in the chat. How you doing tonight? Oh, anything good? Yeah, no, Jonathan. Again, I was so done when he canceled like 13 shows. Ugh. After The Flash and Riverdale is over, I will never watch another CW. Well, after Superman and Lois is done, I will never watch another CW show ever again. Now, Colin says Legacy's ahead of the show, but I've watched it every episode because I thought. Invincible. Oh, I'm okay. Well, you watched it. Okay, I guess that's something. Monique says they should do a what if storyline on YNR with Nikki. Normally I'm not a fan of specials like that, but I think that'll be interesting now. Ron, yeah, I saw a little bit of that. It didn't look like Bill was not coming there for good intentions. Now Colin says I found the characters be so invincible, so I didn't like watching it, but I found every episode. But I watched every episode into the end of completion. Okay. Um Black Miners in the chat was good. I'm doing actually pretty good. Not coughing anymore or as much, so I'm happy about that. Um Kai, when the issue with Legacies was that they tried so hard to be different by making it very silly and monster of the week stuff. And then towards the end, they made Hope the strongest character in the show. So it was almost as though there was no purpose of the other characters just being on the show. I mean, granted, there was a lot more, but that is the cliff notes of what I think of that. When he says, okay. Johnson says, for me, it depends on what direction CW moves for, and they have something good in the future. I'll watch. Jonathan, I mean, you're probably right, but I feel like for me, it's more of a personal thing. You know, like once they canceled Legacies, I was like, yeah, if it wasn't for Superman and Lois and some of the other shows, I don't think I'll be watching it. Because the thing is, Jonathan, Nexstar is going to, like, if you thought the shows looked cheap before, Nexstar is going to make it look like, well, like you're watching a YouTube video, a show on YouTube. Shauna says, I know Bill. Okay. Monique says, did anybody who ever watched the fourth? Monique, I thought about watching that, but I was like, they also had that show on A&E, and I was like, because I was like, I didn't watch that show on A&E, so I was like, I don't know about watching this show. But of course, they canceled it anyway, so it still sucked. Um, yeah, Black Maya. It seems like they're definitely going to turn him more towards the dark side. Um, Also, Summer turned her back on Phyllis. I don't see it as turning her back. I see it as Summer being tired of Phyllis and her crap. So I totally understand that. And she gave her warnings after warnings after warnings. So let's not sit there and try to act like Phyllis is woe is me. Johnson says what B&B needs is a new family of color with a rivaling fashion. Yeah, they definitely do. But they still need the fashion shows though. At least as I watched the old. What you thought of the old? What did you thought of the old? Oh, it's on USA. Okay, darling. What did you thought of the first 4400? Tyrone Tyrone says I never fully got the legacies they were trying to be a TV movie miniseries at first to me. Yeah, the Monster of the Week stuff was just really bad. And then you start doing stupid things like Santa Claus versus Krampus and Star Wars parodies. And it's like, how did you fall so far from here's the thing. I never expected to be as good as the originals. I expected it to be as good. I expected to be as good as the Vampire Diaries or better. And it missed the mark so much. Um, I understand the idea of trying to do something new and different, but like, come on. I mean, how even the actress is like, she felt like it was a different vibe when she was on the originals than when she went on Legacies. And although she was trying to be nice about it, yeah, she knew that it was definitely a downgrade. Johnson says our next star might do, but I really hope they don't, especially if they're serious about getting better ratings. Maybe Jonathan, but I feel like by trying to go the cheaper route, I guess they feel like they're going to save money. They're going to be doing, and granted, this is just a rumor. Half-hour comedies and reality TV shows is what they're going to be doing. Um, I mean, come on, did you see Gotham Knights and just how bad that show looked? And this is the show that they're just like, yep, we're going to do that. Yeah, Jack, I'm just like, how many more times is your own? I mean, granted, let's look at it this way. You're working for your daughter just to get back at Diane, and Summer told her multiple times, "Chill out, like chill out." And no, I don't feel bad for her. Dolly says the old 400 was giving me the kind of low budget. Oh wow. Hmm. So maybe okay, Dolly. So maybe the new for 4400 was a lot better. Taiwan says the original 400 was like a like clip of the X-Men. Oh, okay. Goal is I'm not gonna lie, Calvin. I used to actually like sliders. I used to like sliders a lot. Um, and then they got rid of Jerry O'Connor, and then the show kind of went downhill. But at some point, I actually did like it. I still kind of did. Clark is in the chat. Was good. Jonathan says I will call the new B&B family the Dubois. The Dubois. I'm getting that Boondocks vibe when you said that. Um, Cowan says added character started, and then they started doing action shows, and the it just ends. Um, Jay Carly says, I'm glad that they have this new threat coming. After Sunny, I want to see how Nina. Very good, Jay Carly. So I call you Jay Carly or Jay Sam. But I gotta call you one of them. But yes, very good point. Dolly says Next Star is trying to be mainstream like Fox meets CBS vibes. Hmm. I can see it working. I can see it working. Um, I just hope that they don't go the extremely cheap route, like I'm thinking that they are. And Clark says, I'm not surprised Wiley throws a temper tantrum like father like son. Nice, Clark. Ron says, Phoenix said in the spoilers videos with the Sheila foolishness that you can't see how the writers will get her out of. The mess they're creating. Kimberly Brown is not going nowhere. Monique says, I'm just now starting to watch interviews with vampires on A&A. Do you like it so far? I never actually saw the movie. Someone says, "Does the family should be called the Waffle Sense on B&B?" Nate says, "AJ's in the chat. Was good, AJ. Whenever you're here, you're always on time, and I always appreciate you being here. So thank you for joining." Now Nate says, "Did you see the huge twist about B&B when it comes to?" Yeah, I was. I saw it towards the end. He had that dark villain look on his face. I think that's the thing that I can appreciate about B&B. Yes, like Samuel said, it can be very cartoonish. It's so entertaining at times. Now VGG says I like Bo and Hope on days. What are going to be coming back next year? Juanita says it's about to be who is the baby daddy. Is yep, that's coming. Hopefully they don't take too long for her to actually reveal that she's pregnant. Someone says watch the movie and watch the show at the same time. You'll see. Okay. The time you'll be. Okay. Kaiwan, I'm not gonna lie, it's very difficult for me to get. Here's the thing: it's very difficult for me to get into any other vampire show. Like, I wanted to watch the Vampire Academy, I really did. But then the minute that I found out that Legacies was canceled, and that the same person, the producer, is on, um, what was her name, Plex or whatever the her name is, she's running that show. So it's like I can't really sit there. I want to support it, but I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. So it's very difficult for me to sit there and watch another vampire show. Any vampire show. Dolly says, I know this isn't like you, but I love Nina to find out that why Willow's daughter says, nah, I'm good, and rejects. That would be kind of hilarious in like a what if scenario. Monique says she looks like a cockroach no matter how many times you try to get rid of her or bring her. Yeah, Monique, she's kind of like Jan Spears on Days of Our Lives. And Nate says, I really can't see Bill and Sheila work together, but I don't mind if it makes Bill that much darker. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, Bill has been going towards the dark side for quite a while. Mel says, does people not know how to lock the door? Yeah, I mean, well, you have a point, kind of. But Mel, to be fair, all Bill had to do was kick in the door. So, they have all that money and yet they don't actually have a security system. Well, to be fair, the security system is, yeah, never mind. Clark says Victor is such a controlling jerk with his kids. He was out of line to suggest Adam keep Connor from his mother. No, I agree with that. Dolly says I actually like the Vampire Academy. It's pretty easy, decent. It looks like it is good. It does. I think, to tell you the truth, Dolly, it's just an emotional thing. It really is. Um, and to be fair, Dolly, if Legacies didn't get canceled, I would be watching the Vampire Academies. I mean, the Vampire Academy, because I actually want to review. I want to review the show when I heard about it, and of course, I saw the movie, and it was actually pretty terrible. Like, it actually made Twilight look good. Okay, the Vampire Academy movie made Twilight look good, and that's a feat right there. Jessica says, I wonder what they would do with Cody now that Britt is leaving. That's a really good question. Um, yeah. I mean, how many single women are out there? Well, I guess they could pair her up. They could pair him up with Brooklyn. Now, Tyrone says B&B Bill with his nickname Dollar Bill. Exactly, Dollar Bill. Dollar Bill. I actually do love that name. Dolly says they do some ridiculous stuff with Sheila storyline. I won't be surprised if we find out that this is some evil twin of Bill or something down. I won't put it back. It's B&B. It's very comic book like. Ron says, "All right, I just can't see Sheila, Stephanie and Finn." Okay. And Dolly says, "I almost didn't watch Vampire Academy because of the producer and her negative history on the Vampire Diaries. Lots of racism, accusations, and stuff." Yeah, I heard about that too, Dolly. Particularly with Cat Graham. But the thing is, I never really dived into it, and I think I only did that because I was watching the show. Why does my face look like it's fatter? Only because I was watching the show, but I'm not gonna lie. Did you ever sit there and look at some of the interviews or something? Just like whenever she was actually in the room, like Kat Graham's face looked like she was so miserable, like so miserable, and yet I still love that show. Um, Clark says they could try Cody and Sasha. Yeah, they could. They can also try Chase and Sasha. They need to do something with Sasha. That is the main point. Monique says Sally's pregnant. She tells Chloe about it being Adam or Chloe or Nick. Chloe will get in her head telling, yeah, you're right, Monique. Chloe is pretty petty like that. Okay, I know what she did, but it's maybe because I didn't watch it. Shauna says when Brooke told Taylor Thomas was fired, I was throwing up on the inside. Well, I mean, to be fair, Shauna, Thomas did deserve to be fired. I know you're not going to like that, but she did deserve to be fired. Angelique says Cody can have Lulu when she wakes up. Cody says, yeah, they seem like they treated her, Cat Graham bad. Yeah, it looked like they did. But, the thing is, Dolly, I always sit there and try to look at it this way. There's always three sides to a story. Like I heard the guy that played Rick or Alaric said some stuff that was very racist and homophobic, but I don't know how true that is either. Karen is in the chat. Was good? How you doing tonight? Nikisha, hasn't Sasha been through enough? Don't make her have to deal with Cody. That's DC is in the chat. What's good? Let's everyone say what's up to DC. Keisha with those fire comments. I love it. Ron says, I hope that Thomas will start his own business and hope for the future will decline. Yeah, but Ron, let's not sit there and try to act like Thomas didn't deserve to be fired because he did. Especially if there's a morality clause in it, then yeah, he definitely did. Tyrone says Cody and Sasha would be better than Cody and Maxie because, well, yeah, because they're practically brothers. So yeah, that's yeah. Sean says Taylor didn't need to update from Brooke. I mean, she didn't, but I don't think it. I don't think it's a detriment. I don't think it's a detriment, Shauna. And Clark says Sasha and Chase would be too boring. They need to do something with Shauna. With Sasha. Now DC says that's my problem with cancel culture is that it doesn't allow people to grow past the mistakes. That's true. That is very true. And DC, it's actually funny that you said that because I got a video that I'm putting out tomorrow. And I don't know if anyone ever heard of this um this YouTuber. This YouTuber named Jenna Marbles. If you heard it, well, first of all, let me know if anyone heard of Jenna Marbles. Because when DC said cancel culture, it made me think about Jenna Marbles. Um, Angelique says, "Can Cody and Brooklyn get together?" I don't see why that. They're not related. Oh, okay, Tyrone. So you're okay. So you heard of Jenna Marbles? Okay, all right. So you know all the stuff that she did back in the day, and then her little crying apology. Oh, DC. You know what? Just to summarize it out, because she did a lot of things, but the one thing that Jenna Marbles did was blackface. She did blackface, like dead serious. Karen says, "I think Sonny is out of his element with these new people." But you know what, Karen is gonna be interesting. Yeah, she did blackface, and she did a bunch of other racist and bad things, but that was one of them. And then she apologized for it and said that she didn't want to hurt anyone, that she never wanted to make videos to hurt anyone. She did it. DC, she did it in a music song, and it kind of makes me uncomfortable to sit there and see how she did blackface, but she did blackface, and then she apologized for it years later and was saying that she never wanted to hurt anyone. She never wanted her videos to, um, hurt anyone's feelings. And I'm like, what? That granted, that was years ago, and she hasn't been on YouTube since. So it's interesting that you bring up cancel culture. Namakai says so true, DC. Ask Will Smith, yeah. That is very true. That is very true. Don't get me wrong, I was not happy with Will Smith, but I mean, he apologized, and what else can you really do at that point? Now Tony D says Sonny left his edge, and Nixon falls. I guess we'll see. DC said, I mean, DC, are you joking? Or are you serious? Like when you sit there and say that he got canceled, like, are you joking or are you being serious, DC? I know you don't do social. Oh, you are serious. Oh, okay. Mel says Bill is on thin ice with Lily. Oh yeah, yeah. I understood it to some extent, Mel, but it's gotten to a point where it's just yeah, DC because it's a slap. It's exactly what it was. Oh, Karen, did you like it? Did you like Wakanda? Oh, you were disappointed. Oh, okay. What was you disappointed by? Yeah, DC. It was because of the slap. It was because Will and Jada have a very toxic relationship, and it would have been fine if they would have kept their toxic crap to themselves. But it spilled out, and you know, um, Chris Rock was the comedian of it. I mean, he got the receiving end of it. Everyone says the only war for bold is Kimberly. Oh, Ron, I love your energy. Dolly said I have mixed opinions about cancel culture. Sometimes it's just being held accountable. That's very true, Dolly. That is very true. Now DC says it's weird because Jada caused all that, and now August has a boyfriend. Now just lost all the way. It's a soap opera that you don't give exactly. Now Nikisha says nobody really gets canceled. They might get some bad press, but they do come from themselves with their millions of dollars. See, DC, like I said, you. This is why I love having Nikisha and my live streams because her comments are always fire. Clark says Cody and Ava could have a fling. He wouldn't be able to handle a woman like her for long. That's very true. Tyrone says if you don't want to get mad of fun, don't sit in the front. Exactly. And I should tell you the truth. Again, he's a comedian. It's not like Will doesn't know what Chris Rock does. You know? But you gonna sit there and put your hands like, come on, bro. What are you kidding me? Tony G says, how was Avatar? Is it worth getting? I didn't actually yeah, Tony, I didn't see the first one, so Mickey says, I'm so tired of slave movies. You could pay me to watch. I don't know what that says, but yeah. The last movie I saw was um 12 Years a Slave. And that was just because I was so adamant of not wanting to go and see it, so I want to go and see it. And DC says Will had no right to slap Chris Rock. I was disgusted. And of course he says that, and I feel like DC. I feel like when you're saying that in air quotes, like you're being funny. Now Angelique says Ava is about to find her way to Finn's heart. Cohen says I'm a free speech absolute. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, Cohen, that's very true. You can sit there and you can say whatever you want. Just be aware that you can say what you want, and people can sit there and let you know about their opinion. I mean, Colin, I mean, granted, yeah, you can freedom of speech, but you can also be an adult about it too, though. When you really think about it. Now, Karen says the storyline, I like the turbulence to. Oh, okay, okay, I got you, Karen, I got you. Okay, all right. Now Namor is the first mutant, and okay, yeah, AJ, it actually was pretty boring today. AJ, trust me. If you Here's the thing, AJ, if you think it was boring, imagine how it was for me because I actually had to sit there and review it. Now Dudley says Will got to walk up at a hmm, I mean that's kind of true, Dolly. But I mean he did get canceled for a little bit. Let's be real. Now DC says, no, I'm not really disgusted. Will Smith, I kind of wanted to set back myself. It just says everything I didn't start watching. Yeah, AJ, but that's why I put the early 2000s as well, because that's when I started watching GH was the early 2000s. Now, Tony J says, how about Ava and Austin pairing? I don't see why not. I, I wouldn't say no to it. But, Austin as a character is just problematic. Ron says the only award for GH is for drag. No. AJ said Chris Rock was wrong too. He was a comedian. He made a joke. Um, I mean, seriously, he made a joke. And, AJ, it wasn't as though you know, Jada was the first comment of the night. You know, he really wasn't. He was not the first She was not the first comment of the night. And at the end of the day, you're a grown adult. You are a father. Okay, so to sit there and be putting your hands on somebody else is unacceptable. Point blank. Period. Now, Dee Dee says I watched GH in the '90s with Brendan and Sonny, and that stopped and then stopped watching until the early 2012s. Yeah, well, I did take a break for a little bit, but I don't know if it was that long. DC says Ava and Austin to me would feel like Paul, Ryan, and Carly. I have no idea what you're talking about. Mel says there's going to be a 2023 movie called The Boogeyman Remake. Oh, I gotta watch it. I actually did watch all the other ones, so I do gotta watch it. DC says Kirk Rock was not wrong to me, and he didn't know anything about her condition. My God, Chris Rock said worse. Exactly. You know, again, at the end of the day, Will Smith is responsible for his own actions. He's responsible for his own actions, point blank, period. Yeah, Karen. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Almost this whole episode's unnecessary if you really think about it. Ron says, "So, Albert, who would they pair Esme with?" Hmm, probably no one for right now. Probably no one for right now. I gotta sit there and say no one. AJ says it will suck. We won't see a Brit and Austin pairing. Yeah, but we all knew that was coming now. Monique says it is true. Griffin coming back to GH since he. Uh, I kind of hope not, Monique. I wasn't a fan of the actor's acting. Jessica says, "Why would Cody think he would get a second chance?" That was beyond me. That was laughable. Shauna says, "Okay." DC says, "August is out here living his best life. I do feel August boyfriend is low key a public stunt." Dee says, "What if they recast Emma and have her with Cameron?" I don't mind that, Dee, as long as they take off two other characters. AJ says Chris shouldn't have talked about Jada's hair. But here's the thing, AJ. Chris didn't know about her condition. And again, he's a comedian. It wasn't as though, exactly, at the end of the day, you're responsible for your own actions. You're a grown ass adult that have probably told your kids 1,000 times. And how you doing tonight, Laura? Thank you for joining. Have told your kids 1,000 times that violence isn't the answer. And yet you had the audacity to sit there and walk your two little legs up there and start putting hands on somebody else. Yeah, no. I'm not with it. I'm not with it. And yeah, exactly. And DC says that sarcastically. Karen says I dislike Drew and Carly. AJ says only in my unbiased opinion. Well, it's cool, AJ. We can agree to disagree. I still appreciate you being here. Exactly, Didi. It's like what DC said. Like he said much worse things. Regardless, you don't put hands on somebody else because they said something to your wife. Like, relax. Um, Tyrone said you can't hit someone for what they don't know. I agree with you, Tyrone. Now, Lauren, thank you for joining, Lauren. Lauren says, okay. Monique says, if the rumors are true about Griffin coming back to GH, how would his scenes go with Ava? Oh, that'd be interesting. That would be interesting. Maybe they should get a different guy to play Griffin. Could they get a different Griffin? Maybe they got a different Griffin. Exactly, Tyrone. Uh, we're on the same page about that. But you might be talking to AJ. So, um, Namel says Jada is a narcissist that treated Will horrible to Will that she had an open marriage with Will. Yeah, Mel, that's the thing though. Like, I didn't know their details. And, Mel, at the end of the day, Will Smith is choosing to still be with her. So he's choosing to be with a very toxic woman. So, good for him. Tony D says Johnny McPain was with Blair from their seconds. I didn't know that. You know, Dee Dee, here's the thing about Griffin and Finn. They're there for their looks. They're not there for their acting abilities because both of them can't act. I mean, yeah, they're good. I guess eye candy, but you know, um, Ron says already weird that the actor playing Victor on. Yeah, no, I found out about that for a while because there was a lot of jokes in the chat and stuff like that, and DC used to always sit there and tell me about that. So yeah, but I never watched Nanny though. I couldn't get past that laugh that she used. Every time she started laughing, I couldn't get past that. And people always thought that that laugh that she did was always adorable, and I'm like, no, that's annoying. Now AJ and DC just deleted his comment. Now AJ said Will, Jada, and Chris need to have several seats. Okay, so they just all getting the smoke. Okay, all right, AJ. Tyrone says it's possible Griffin will take the co-chief of staff role with Terry since Breath is leading. Long to get a different actor. Gosh. Oh, and kick off some more people. Well, you know what? They're already getting rid of Brett, so I guess it's fine. Monique says if it was D.L. Hughley or Cat Williams said what Chris said about Jada, I don't think Will. Exactly. Exactly, Monique. And that's another thing. He knew how to pick his battles. He knew how to pick his battles. He knew if he went up the Will. Ima- you know, Monique, imagine if Will went up to Tony Rock. Imagine if Will went to Tony Rock and did that. Because Tony Rock wanted to whoop. He wanted to really get at Tony really wanted to get at Will. And I could not blame him one bit. Well, okay, Cat Williams can't fight. I'm just gonna say it right now. Cat Williams can't fight. Okay, when you getting beat up by kids from like the hood or whatever, or the projects and stuff like that, it's like nah. And he start. I don't know if he was from the projects, but the point is, no, he was a high school kid. Yes, AJ, he got beat up by a high school kid. Nah, we ain't putting him in there. Karen says it was cheaper to keep her if Will divorced Jada, she would get half of his asset. Yeah. Oof. And that's the thing, Karen. You gotta sit there and wonder: is happiness worth more than money? Hmm. I don't know if I can do it. I really do like money, though. Nate says after Bill recap our recent actions today, can we still say that Bill never loved Steffi? It was all but lust between them when they were attracted to each other while Bill was with Kate. Well, Steffi did look good back in the. She still does look good now. Yeah, Ron Finn just. Yeah, I can't get over that laugh. Now DC says Tony Rock was slapped. Yeah. Oh, he definitely would put him in his place. He would definitely put him in his place. Yes, Tyrone, I would pay money to sit there and see that fight. Ooh, I would pay money to see that fight. Let's see how good those skills was. Those boxing skills that he learned when he played Ali. Um, AJ said, I think it's possible to. Okay. Oh, Tyrone, it was hilarious. You can check it out on YouTube. It's hilarious. Yeah, Lauren, I think that'll be the bet. That'd be the safest bet. When he says Jada is trying to make Will her Tupac. Johnson says one YouTube channel somehow got banned from talking about DC. Really? It's interesting that you say that, Jonathan, because there's somebody um named Eric Reload, and he talks about DC content all the time. So I'm kind of surprised by that. Yeah, Karen, there was only one Tupac. Well, I was more of a Biggie fan anyway. But to each his own. Lauren says, "Oh, and if you will have Lauren, you know she got some big old really. And what's her name again? Lauren? I want to know about this person, Lauren. Hit me back with that. Really? I didn't know that, Tyrone. DC says all of us was my show. Now, Mel says, what about Ice Cube against Will Smith? That's a good one though, because Will is taller, so he does have a bit more advantage. But I think Ice Cube is stronger, so it'll be an interesting fight. Will has reach. Ron says, Albert, everyone knows that Finn is not an actor. He's just a boring and snooze fest. Yeah, but Ron, he's eye candy. So there's that. AJ says, what do you guys think about the? Oh, he was found guilty. That's crazy. AJ, I heard about that. You're shooting chicks in the feet now? Like, what the hell? Tony D says, why did Elena try to get Devon and Nate together? I did not understand that. Nice, Jonathan. You subscribe to Eric Reload. See, Jonathan, this is why we vibe. Okay, this is exactly why we vibe. Um, I used to watch this stuff all the time. I haven't watched it in a hot minute though, but this is why we vibe. Monique says Will was laughing until Jada gave him that. Yeah, I saw that, Monique. I saw that laugh, that smile turns upside down real fast. Now DC says, "Oh, Ice Cube would destroy Will." Let's not forget, Ice Cube used to be a gangbanger and a gangster rapper. That's true, DC. But you guys have to remember, Will is taller, and he has much more range. Like range does kind of help you to some extent. I'm just saying. Nate says, "Who cares about Taylor and Brooke new friendship? I certainly don't, and I don't buy it." It's nice to sit there and see these women kind of like teaming up and not being on, opposite sides. Jonathan, I think there's going to be a team up between Sheila and Dollar Bill, and it's going to be interesting. So, Nikish, you snipped there saying that the dude is soft now. Now, Laura says, no, hold on. Laura says, is that true? Because I think I need to actually hold on. Let me just. Okay. Okay, cool. I'm gonna look her up. Thank you, Lauren. I mean, for obvious research purposes, I'm gonna look this woman up. Eagle Fang is in the chat. What's good? How you doing tonight, Eagle Fang? It's funny too, Eagle Fang. When I saw you, I was literally about to call you. To call you. Yeah, I mean, look. Angelique, I mean, it is for research purposes. I mean, I want to see what Lauren's talking about. Now, Lauren says, I just want there to be a scene where Steffi shows Taylor how to use a dating app. Taylor needs to get on Tinder. Hippie's in the chat. What's good, Hippie? Thank you for joining. Eager fan says, great news, GH. Fans, in 10 years, we will see Spencer and Trina as a couple. That is hilarious. Do you see? And it's kind of funny that you say that because I couldn't get out of bed. Like, I almost overslept work because, I was doing some research last night. And I'm not going to lie, it was kind of cold in my room. And I really wanted to get to sleep. And then I overslept. So, that was fun to do. Well, thank you, Lauren. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Lauren. I appreciate that. I mean, it's always good to, check out things and, do research on interesting people. Now, Eager Fan says it's like I'm overweighting at this point. Eagle Fan, I think I'm gonna actually try to watch Cobra Kai this Saturday. Now, and Johnson says, I hope the storyline with Sunny and the security. Exactly, Jonathan. That's what I'm like. It looked like it's going to be interesting. Of course, that meeting went way too well, but we'll see. Now, DC says, I remember one day I stayed in bed for 5 hours doing research. That's a lot. I'm gonna be honest. Once I do research once, I'm tired and I want to go sleep. I want to go sleep. I really do. You're damn right, Eagle Fang. Cobra Kai never dies. Damn it. Because I got like one more episode of A Million Little Things, and after that, I'm going to binge watch the hell out of Cobra Kai. Like there is no tomorrow. That's why I don't understand how people can actually do research in the daytime. It's like, no, I'm good. Anyway, enough of my research practices. Eagle fan said just watch Friday's episode, GH. You sleep like a baby. um, Ron says, let me guess when everyone includes Avon. Well, Ron is not going to be good for Nicholas. But to be fair, I don't even know what's going on with Nicholas' situation. Now, Johnson says, what did you think of how Wiley? Um, Jonathan, I felt like it was normal. He's a kid, and kids have temper tantrums. I felt like that was just very on brand, to be honest. Um, so yeah, it was fine. Colin says, okay. Um, Mel says they have another movie in 2023 called Knocked at the Cabin. What's that movie about, Mel? I remember I had what's that movie? It was called Cabin something, right? And I had the guy that played Thor and some other people. Now DC says, I hope Nate steals Abby from Devon. He deserves it, and he will deserves a real woman out of Lane. You still don't like you still don't like Elena. Um, DC says I'm giving Stephanie Forrester versus Brooke right now, and I'm okay with it. Stephanie Forrester versus Brooke. Johnson says I really think it would be cool to see Robert Newman. It would have been cool. I don't know who this new guy is, Jonathan. Um, I guess we just have to wait and see. But I'm not gonna lie, when Alcazar came in, you could just tell he was just like really cool. Like just right off the bat, like the way that he went at Sunny and he just had no fear. It was actually pretty cool. Genesis says, I like Nicholas. I will miss him. Hopefully, replacement will be good. Hopefully, yeah. I'm hoping that as well. It just says, pair Austin up with Liz or Ava. I was just going to say Ava. Here you did, Liz. Let's do Ava. Shauna says, actually, Elena's too good for Nate. Yeah, I mean, Nate does like to sit there and betray his family like there's no tomorrow. Now, AJ says, since Britt isn't going to be available anymore. Colin says, like Link on General Hospital, they can, you blame me. Ron says, Phoenix Tremaine said that this week on January 2nd, the Hulk will strike again. I hope it's Willow that gets in. Yeah, I doubt that. But I mean, it's a nice little wish list. DC says need to bring back the knife guy. Maybe he can run the security firm. Who's the knife guy? Don't know who the knife guy is. Tyrone says, I don't know if you look Austin up with Liz, the writers will find and yeah, it just seems like they already did that before. You know, they've been there and they did it before. Like, why are they gonna sit there and do it again? It'll be like if they had Alex decide to be with Sierra. Like they broke up and then it just I don't see it. Oh, okay, all right. Now I got you. Okay, DC. I was like, who the hell's the knife guy for a second? AJ says, yeah, maybe Austin needs to get hooked too, along with Cody, because they're useless characters. I mean, that's true. They haven't actually. Well, Cody, they seem like they've done more with Cody than Austin, so I give him that much. Thank you, Nikisha. Yes, Alex and Claire. Oh, Alex and Sierra are cousins. Oh, well then, yeah, that would be gross. um, Tony D says, hook up Nate with Victoria. They're both backstabbers. Well, I do call her the Ice Princess. Shauna says Austin go back to Paul Tuckett. Someone says Cody should be with I should what? Now Mel said knock at the door starts January 3rd along with Meg. Well yeah, Mel, I'm definitely gonna see Megan. But what is knocked at the door about? Maybe there's a trailer I could sit there and look it up now. Because I'm thinking of a different movie where what is it called? Yeah, it's called Cabin in the Woods. Never mind. DC says, well, okay. Ron says fans complain that they want Tyler Christopher back. Out when he gets the same writing, you people won't go on social media and give him a headache. And Ron, they will give him a headache because people are just nuts. Some people are nuts and they shouldn't be on the internet. And Kylan says we should be with Liz. I should be gay. What the okay? Sure. Everyone says Alcazar was a cool rival for Sonny, someone who would challenge him, had a human side with his niece and son. Was exactly Tyrone. Alcazar Alcazar, Jerry. Well, Alcazar was one of my favorite bad guys, besides Jerry Jacks. But Alcazar was. I like Alcazar for a different reason because he matched Sonny in so many ways, and plus I like the actor too. So, what one says I think Cody should be gay with Wells. I mean with Brad, right? Is that what you mean? I'm trying, Jessica. JoJo's in the chat. What's good? How you doing tonight, JoJo? As soon as I saw the your thing, I was like, oh, JoJo, okay. Monique says I would love to see Laura and Sheila confrontation on B&B. That would be epic. Yeah, she was talking about it today. Okay, all right. Now I understand what you said. Okay, I got you, Caroline. How you been, JoJo? Tisha says maybe the Hulk killer is Alcazar's daughter, right? Hmm. Yeah, I heard about that. Somebody else said that too in the chat room. I mean, and Jonathan. I'm doing great, Jojo. I'm glad you're doing good. I hope you had a great holiday, and thank you for just stopping by. I'm gonna have some exciting stuff. I'm actually gonna be doing some other videos too, along with my soap opera reviews. So, and Jojo, if you're actually still in the chat, let me know what kind of videos you want to see. What kind of videos you want to sit there and see me do? Mel says it's a horror movie. Knocked at the door for knock at the door. That actually sounds kind of interesting, Mel. I love horror movies. I love horror movies. So that actually sounds pretty interesting. Ron says, so will Nicholas be charged for kidnapping a pregnant woman against her will? Liz should be charged being an accomplice. AJ says, never thought of Lila Ray being the killer. But does she know Trina? I mean, that's a nice little theory. If we're just throwing out theories. And of course, Johnson says, ADA Arden fits the bill. DC says, but I believe the hook killer is now at this point. Your family says, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Eagle Fang. I'm like, Miss Wu, you do realize that Brad was kind of a POS way before Brit, in reality. AJ says it's impossible for not to be. I don't know, Shauna. I don't know if she can handle Miss Wu. Okay, Jojo. All right, thank you. Well, like I said, Jojo, if there's any, I'm just saying, if there's any videos that you want to sit there and see me do, just let me know because I'm always open to suggestions. Nikki says, "How does the whole killer be?" I definitely will. I definitely will. No, I love horror movies. So yes, I definitely will. Now this whole now AJ says I see ADA or Esme's nanny as the whole killer. It could be anyone at this point. I've lost. I've stopped like guessing when I realized that Esme wasn't the killer. Now DC says it's hard for me to feel sorry at times for Brett and Liesel considering their past. Yes, that's very true. Johnson says maybe Arden trial cost her promotion and she's going after everyone connected to Trina and retaliation. Jonathan, I don't think that you're entirely wrong. I just feel like if you're right, it's going to be such a letdown. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, DC. It is actually very laughable to me. Um, Eagle fan says Granny hooking everyone. Jessica says I would love if Hat Daddy ended up being the hook killer in a schizophrenic episode. That would be a cool twist. I'm just glad it wasn't Rory with a wig. And Jan says I start caring about who the hook killer is. Yeah, it's they they dragged it out, but they've dragged it out because they have so many stories going on. You know, I don't think that they intentionally dragged it out. I just think that they have more characters than they know what to do with them. And they know what to do. Then they know what to do with them. That's why we don't see Austin till like every 3 or 4 weeks because they don't know what to do. They have too many characters, and there's a lot of characters that's getting left by the wayside. And it's unfortunate because Austin started off with promise and he just went, and now everyone in the chat, there's a lot of people in the chat that doesn't like Austin, you know. Um Ron says I hope that Spencer's friend will. Okay, Ron. um Shauna says nobody likes Brit or Brick, but she changed. Mel says I am so used to Christian Bale and the Batman movies, but he will be in a horror movie called The Pale Blue Eyes. I heard about that. Oh, it's going to be on Netflix. Okay. Mel, it's interesting that you say that as far as Christian Bale being Batman, because I adamantly never liked those movies. You know what the problem with those for me, Mel? It's just that Christian Bale doesn't give off a comic book vibe. Like he gives off a vibe that pretty much is just a regular guy being Batman. Like it just doesn't work for me. Plus, there's a bunch of other problems in those movies that don't work for me. Um, Shauna says no, Austin and Cody. Tyrone says, as many characters GH has, they might as well be writing my novel. I got like 20 of them. Johnson says it was a disappointment that Austin was forced not to claim his. Exactly. It was. It really was. The happiness in the chat was good. Kywan says, side character that she was supposed to replace on a. Lauren says Nicholas needs to get a DNA test because Esme baby could belong to anyone in town. It's that. Yes, Eagle Fang. Yes, but who was also pretty good though? Ben Affleck. Like Ben Affleck actually shocked me, like in that movie. So I give it to Ben Affleck. Ron says I heard that Flo and Y will be back in 2023. Hopefully they give him a good story. Monique says Alfred in DC, who was the best man. Joke mine was Val Kilmer, Mike. Who was the best man and Joker minds was Val Kilmer and Michael Keaton. As Batman, Joker was Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger. You know, Monique, it's very hard for me to sit there and pick a really good Joker. And unfortunately, I have to go to the Batman, the animated series Joker, um, as the best Joker for me personally. Now, I would go with Michael Keaton, but I really do like Ben Affleck. Like, I really do. I really do like Ben Affleck. Oh, and the Phantoms. I never heard of that movie. AJ says I feel bad for Obrick. Yeah, AJ. When Obrick is thanking Sonny for his kindness, you know it's deep. Carolyn says I think the baby is okay, Kaiwan. AJ says she's going to lose the only living child she has. Now DC says I'm surprised the cast says don't have a doctor. Yeah, DC, it's one of those things where I always sit there and say the plot matters more than, logic and common sense. Nicholas sits there and talks about how Liz is a good friend, this, that, and third. Yeah, you had no problem getting her mixed up in your BS. Like, seriously, I don't get that. Yes, Jonathan, Mark Hamill killed it as a Joker. Point blank, the animated series Joker is always going to be the Joker for me. Now, granted, Jonathan, you guys have to remember something. As for me, he was the greatest Joker. But, the cartoon Joker and the comic book Joker are vastly different. Like, the comic book Joker is genuinely scary. DC says the evil family on Souls never have a doctor in the family, even though it can come in handy. AJ says, "LOL, Sonny was no Lauren. Maybe the daddy is Oz." Colin says, "Why isn't Britt the baby?" What? Eagle Fang says, "Now Jay just teasing BLQ having a big what?" Eagle Fang, did you go on one of those videos where the accent is very foreign? Because you can't really trust those. Davlin says, "Albert, do you think Brooklyn is Oh, never mind. It's possible. It will give them a good reason to be together. Unfortunately, Mel says The Batman was Michael Keaton, then Val Kilmer, then George Clooney, then Kristen Bell, then Ben Affleck, then Robert. I forgot about Robert Pattinson. Jesus Christ, I actually forgot about him, and I actually did like. Have a good night, DC. Thank you for joining. It's great seeing you in the chat as always. I forgot about Robert Pattinson. I actually like Robert Pattinson as the Batman. Although it was kind of odd that they just decided to do that, but yeah. AJ says, Jace doesn't need another pregnancy. Hell nah. Everyone says, what is the weather? And uh, Tony D says, do we know yet who the guy was that killed Rory? I mean, the guy that was on the floor. Yeah, we're still waiting for that. Now, John says a joke on Gotham. Yes, Jonathan. Yeah, they called him Jerome. And it's really funny. He was doing an interview, and the actor was like, "Yeah, we couldn't call him the Joker because of yada yada yada." But yeah, he was actually a really good Joker. Very good call, Jonathan. Gotham was a very odd show because on paper that show should not have worked, and yet they actually had some really good stories on there. You know, hell, I even like Fish Mooney. Okay, I even like Fish Mooney. Carlin says I didn't bring the babies. I don't understand what you're talking about. Monique says another Quartermain child, Lila Ray, hitting in the basement. Now Tracy says I live Batman. I think you mean you love Batman. I know you mean you love Batman. Mel says the only horror movie Christian Bale I love was American Psycho. I never actually seen that movie. I feel like it's on my bucket list that I gotta watch at some point. And Kyle says, "Oh, that's the weather in Brit that the doctor for Esme." Tony D says, "Literally, I can't wait. I can't watch American Psycho. That movie scares me so bad." Tony D says, "I've never watched that." No, Tyrone says, "I like Christian Bale as Batman because he was savvy, just fit into the role." Okay, I respect that. Okay, Johnson says, "Remember they had Solomon." Yeah, that was interesting. But you know what? You know, Johnson, they actually did do a better job than Arrow when he had Rayshaw Gold. I'll give him that. I will give him that. Seems she what? I'm trying, Jessica. I am trying. I really am trying. Um, Christian Bale. Because I get sometimes that people do write on their tablets, and writing on your tablets is just it's just a damn chore. Okay, it is just a chore and a half. Um, Shauna said Trina's not going to shake Curtis and Hat Daddy. No, she is not, and those two are annoying as hell. Namel says three. There is a three Catwoman: Michelle Pfeiffer, Holly Berry. Uh, that's a tough one, Mel, because I kind of want to sit there and say Anna Hathaway, even though I did like Michelle Pfeiffer. You know what, Mel? I'm gonna sit there and go with Michelle Pfeiffer. I'm gonna go with Michelle Pfeiffer because she played a more comic book version of Catwoman. And Holly Berry, I would just love to forget that that was an actual movie. I would love to forget that that was a movie. AJ says Ben Affleck was the worst Batman. Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. I can agree to disagree on that one. DG said, what storyline would you like to see on G's that they're not doing right? All of it. I mean, my main issues, of course, is that they have too many characters. If they would scale down on the characters, I think that they can probably do some of these stories more justice. Um, because the whole killer storyline is good, but for 2 weeks there was nothing. So it's not so much as the stories; it's really just more of the pacing, and the pacing is not going to get. Oh, you're from France, oh, okay. And the pacing is not going to get any better if they don't actually have um that room to tell stories. Namel says, "You love American Psycho." I probably will. I do like Kristen Bale, even though I wasn't a fan of that whole meltdown thing, but that's another story for another day. Um, Shauna says, find Lucy and bring Anna home. Exactly, Tyrone. Trend that damn fast. And you know what, Laura? I am so glad that you told me about this new comedian chick. There was another comedian, and I can't think of her name now. Ugh. Well, it'll come to me, and when it does, I'll sit there and talk about her. But she's dark, and she's really funny, and she's really good looking. Now Johnson says the Curtis and Portia bombshell waiting in 2 months. Yeah, exactly. But the fact that we gotta wait for 2 months is an issue now. Jessica says I can't wait for them to wrap up this Willow storyline. It's been going for a while. It's been going for a hot minute. AJ says I take that back. Robert Pattinson was the worst Batman. Why you didn't like? Oh, you know what? Actually, I'm curious. Okay, AJ. So why you didn't like Ben Affleck and Robert Pattinson? It is it. Angela's. I was waiting for that, Angela. Angelique. I was waiting for that because we had a little inside joke. Okay, that she just loves her characters. Yes, Lauren. It is Simone Hart. Damn. That's I'm not gonna lie, Lauren. That's actually kind of I guess you must know my type, Lauren. I guess you must actually know my type. As far as women is concerned, because yes, you nailed it. Oh, Simone is get one. Lauren, thank you for joining the chat. Now, Dee says Carly was horrible today. Carly has been horrible for a while. With this whole Willow storyline. Shauna says Liz storyline disappointed. Austin, who cares? Where's Luke? Ethan and Lucy at? Curtis and Hat Daddy, storyline over. Tony D says bring back Rick Lanson. Yes, Slick Rick. I appreciate you being in the chat, Lauren. I really do. Not just because you well, no, AJ, it's not really so much about dark skin or light skin, and it's more about her body. If you ever looked up Simone, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's not really so much about skin color, but more about looks. It just says I haven't watched Batman with them in it before. Okay. Johnson says, "Are you willing to give the new?" No, Jonathan, I'm not. You know the sad thing is, Jonathan. Logically, it would make sense, but I did not like the way that they fired Henry Cavill. And to be honest, I'm kind of done with DC. Like I'm done with Warner Brothers in general. Um, I don't like how they're doing business, and it's honestly, to tell you forever, I'll just stick with Marvel at this point. Like I don't care who James Gunn gets. I am. Oof, I really don't like him. But yes, no, thank you, Lauren. You are a rock star. Sir Charles is in the chat. What's good, Sir Charles? Ashley, Donna, and Kristen. Yes. See, no, that's why you want. That's why you're one of my favorites. That's why you're my favorite. Mm-mm-mm-mm. But yeah, I mean, AJ also his personality. I don't want to sit there and make it seem like I'm just this shallow prick. AJ says Carly is nothing but a mutt who barks at Jesus. Okay. Have a good night, Shauna. Thank you for joining. It was really great to have you in the chat. AJ says black is beautiful. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, yeah, definitely. I love what I do. Thank you, Lauren. Tony D says, "Can we recast Jax too?" You don't like the actor? I'm assuming you don't like the actor. Mel says, "I don't understand why Batman had destroyed Superman when they both." Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. No, that was such a stupid plot point. And don't get me wrong, I love Batman v Superman, but that was such a stupid plot line. Um, but it made the Batman fanboys happy. So okay, sure. Tony D says, "The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice." You are very, very true. You are. Johnson says the current business model at Warner Brothers and DC may not last because they're a spectacular. Oh, speculation that Capcom's Comcast Universal may buy Warner Brothers. You're right about that. I've heard stuff about that. See, the thing is, Jonathan, I'm going at this from a very emotional standpoint. So Logically, yeah, I should give the new person that plays Superman a chance. I should sit there and see what James Gunn has in the works. My issue, though, is James Gunn talked about a lot of the DC movies that he didn't like. They were mediocre, this, that, and the third. Okay, you're a director. Fix them. Close out Zack Snyder's vision and then start working on your own. Don't sit there and erase everything that he did and just start from scratch. He's acting as though the actors were the problems with the movies, not the scripts themselves. So it's very difficult for me to sit there and want to give anything that James Gunn a chance when they've just been doing so many things that it just seems like it's very disrespectful. I'll put it that way for now. I wanted to actually do a video on it, but my last video didn't really do so well, so I was like, I don't really know. Yeah, Tyrone, she was. But I mean, come on. I would sit there and take Michelle Pfeiffer over Holly Berry's version any day of the week. Tony D says, I do like Engo, but he will never work on GH again after. He won't be working on most things after that lawsuit. Now, Nikki said, we don't need Jax. He can stay in Australia. I'll take Jerry Jackson. Exactly. Tony D says, I want Jax to come back and be bad like Jerry. AJ said he can stay playing with the Kangaroos in Australia. Mel says they're having a John Wick 5th movie. Oh, John Wick 5th. Mel, I feel like that's one of the franchises that I just missed the boat on. You know, like I would have to literally go back and start watching 1 through 5 for me to get emotionally invested in those movies. Now, Tyrone says Harley Quinn should be in the future Batman movies. Hmm. But Tyrone, who would you actually have play Harley Quinn? That's the question. Because as bad as that second Harley Quinn movie was, I still do like Margaret as Harley Quinn. Now Johnson says Jerry needs to do some new hosses. Yes, it would definitely shake things up. Clark says Jack should buy Marshall a ticket to Australia and keep him there. I'm with it. Mel says, do you think they will do a Suicide Squad 3? Maybe. Maybe. Because they do have Peacemaker, and I heard that's doing really well, and that's kind of a Suicide Squad kind of show in a way. So I don't know if they would actually do um another movie about it. The sad thing is, Mel, is that I want to sit. My initial reaction is to sit there and say, "Yeah, I'll do it," but I don't like Warner Brothers anymore, and I don't want to support that company. And unfortunately, I have to support them until the end of next year, or at least until Superman, at least until Superman Lois ends. And Tony D says Jax is a good thorn in Sunny's side. That's why I want him back. Tyrone says I'll probably get a WWE superstar Alex to play Harley Quinn. I gotta look her up. Yeah, AJ. I never heard of her. But then again, I don't really watch. I don't really watch wrestling. Mel says, do you think we'll have a Venom 2 movie? Well, you mean a Venom 3 movie? Yeah. No. Yeah. I think that the Venom movies made just enough money, and they have just enough interest to warrant a third one. Um, which is kind of odd because now that they got the symbiote in the Marvel universe, they may wind up doing their own Venom. So I don't know how that's gonna work out. AJ says, or Liv Morgan. I'm assuming that's another wrestler, right? You know, I'm not gonna lie. I still can't believe that. What's the chick that used to do all the arm bars, and she was an MMA fighter? Okay, yeah, she was an MMA fighter, and then she kept losing, and then she wound up doing wrestling. No, no. Oh, Ronda Rousey, yes. I still can't believe she actually wound up doing wrestling, but she does make more money. So Mel says, no. Um, Mel, the only way that we're actually going to get an X-Men movie is if they do it in a Marvel universe, and that's not going to happen for years. Um, I may be dead by the time that X-Men movie come out. I may be in my 80s when an X-Men movie comes out because they're just now doing mutants, and they got one, one mutant. Oh, AJ, you don't like Rana? Hmm. You know, Rana was a very special case because yeah, Rana talked a lot of crap. But Rhonda did that because she wanted MMA. Like she wanted to sit there and give more hype to the female divisions of MMA. And that's why she used to act as cocky and as arrogant is because she wanted to bring attention. So and people clowned her when she lost, but I'm like, I don't think she was ever really that good to begin with. Oh yeah, Mel, they are next year. Justice says, I really hope it doesn't take that long to make an X movie. Yeah, I'm not surprised, AJ. I am not surprised. I mean, but see, that's always the internal question, though, Jonathan. Because at one point, I'm just like, is the X Men? Well, I guess the X Men is needed, you know. But Jonathan, they have so many other characters to get to, so many other different shows and stuff like that. I I just don't see how they can act. I mean, well, I guess they could because they do have the multiverse, so I guess it's possible. And they did have Xavier and the second got Doctor Strange movie, so I guess it's possible. Yep, no, they did because James Gunn decided. Because James Gunn is an idiot. I was gonna sit there and try to tell a joke, and I don't even find it funny anymore. That's the sad part is that I don't even find it funny anymore. It's. I mean, granted, now with that, there's a whole backstory with that, and I don't know if that's all with James Gunn, but as weird as this sounds, and I don't know if anyone actually watched the Fast and the Furious movies, but Gal Gadot is supposed to be in the next Fast and the Furious movie, which is crazy because she died. But then Han died also, so I guess it really doesn't matter at this point. Mel says, "Do you think we'll make another Star Wars movie?" Mel, I want them to, but I'm gonna be completely honest. Star Wars fans, some Star Wars fans are probably the most problematic people I've ever seen because nothing makes them happy. This is why they do the shows and they won't invest in the movies because nothing makes them happy. And they can be very vicious and very toxic. And it almost makes me embarrassed to be a Star Wars fan. So I think they're probably going to stick with the shows for a while. Now, Tyrone says it would take a lot of time to make the next X-Men movie. Like, it would take a long time to base the turkey. Yeah, it's going to be a hot minute, Tyrone. It's going to be a hot minute. I I just I also kind of sit there and look at it. It's like, are they really needed? Like, is the X-Men really needed in the Marvel cinematic movie in the Marvel universe? Johnson says, I bet Xander and EG will both get arrested and have a brawl in prison. This makes you wonder, will they actually go to jail? Like, will both of them go to jail, and if so, for how long? Clark says, do you ever watch Video Chromosome is a channel? No, no, I haven't, Clark. AJ says, I'm not a Star Wars fan, but Darth Vader is my favorite villain. I like Darth Vader. Yeah, no, I never see his channel. But it's crazy, Clark, because he probably has like 1,000, a million followers, and people don't know who he is. Like, does anyone know who Alex Meyer is? Alex Meyer. Does anyone in the chat know who Alex Meyer is? This dude literally, like, his videos get a million views, and yet people don't know who he is. Um, now Mel says they have another horror movie called Night at Freddy's. What is that about? I swear I felt like I've seen that, or I've seen something along those lines. Clark said just recently started watching his really good stories. Okay. Tyrone says it'll be good with Ant-Man and Spider-Man. That's true. That's true. I don't know. I felt like because maybe maybe the generation I grew up in, I watched all the X-Men movies, then I watched all the Marvel movies, and I'm just like, is it really necessary to actually have those two worlds collide? You know? And Johnson says, Five Nights at Freddy's. I gotta look that up. Okay, Tyrone, so you have seen him. Okay. Good, 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 good. Because a lot of people don't know about him, and he's really popular. And I watched a lot of his videos. The dude gets like millions of views each video. And I guess it's just amazing how YouTube works, like just the vastness of it all. Mel says, do you think they'll make another Hulk movie? Hmm, I doubt it. I doubt it for a couple of reasons, Mel. The actor is leaving, and I think they really want to push the whole She-Hulk thing. So if anything, She-Hulk will get another movie before the Hulk will, unless they recast. But I feel like they're going to push more She-Hulk than actually Hulk, if that makes any sense. Which is a shame because I actually do like the Hulk, but I didn't see She-Hulk, so there is that. And Mel says Five Nights at Freddy's. I gotta look that up. I gotta look that up. I love horror movies. It's very rare to actually get time to sit there and watch them. And the key said Hulk can get a solo movie, but he'll be in the next Guardians of the Galaxies. You're probably right, Nikisha, because I forgot that Universal still kind of has that whole somewhat legal hold over him. over his character. Mel says, do you think make a Swamp Thing movie? I want to sit there and say no because I don't think he's a really popular character. And they did try to make a TV show, which wound up getting canceled. So I doubt it. Now, VM says, do you make ASMR videos? I used to. And actually, to tell you the truth, I was thinking about making them again because I got a new mic. So, yeah, I just have to try to find out the right ASMR video to make. But it's funny that you asked that because I was talking about that in the beginning of the chat when I said I actually got a new mic for my laptop. So, yeah, I haven't made them in a while. And yeah, it's funny now that you said that because Guardians of the Galaxies weren't popular characters, and yet they made that work. But with DC, they're not really so much as far as taking chances. Have a good night, Dee Dee. Thank you for joining. It's always great to see you in the chat. I'm actually missing you in the chat, so it was really good seeing you. And with that being said, I think I'm going to sit there and end this live right here since it's 10 o'clock. I'm starting to get tired. Much as I love sitting there talking to everyone in the chat, um, I want to be fresh for tomorrow. Van, I used to actually make bubblegum ASMRs. Thank you, Clark. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hopefully, Mel. Hopefully. I, I I'm not gonna lie, those movies did not do the franchise any justice. Now Johnson says if NBC does buy Warner Brothers, maybe they'll let Marvel have full control of Hulk because NBC would have DC characters. Hmm. I don't think that's actually a bad idea. I really don't. Thank you so much again, Clark. Thank you. You are a rock star, and I really do appreciate you. Have a good night, Tyrone. Now I'm going to sit and read this last comment. Ruth. Yes, you definitely will, Clark. I definitely look forward to sitting there saying you. And thank you again. And Ruth says, watch it, Albert. I'm a DC girl, so watch it. I mean, sir, watch it with a high respect to those who are Marvel fans, because I actually like both Marvel and DC, but I'm still a DC girl. Way, 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 way off. Ruth, where do you live? Because I have a feeling you live with another, like the area that you live in, another subscriber I think lives in your area. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you. Thank you. It was a pleasure, Smith, there talking to you as always. So I definitely look forward to seeing you as well. Well, no, they're gonna make the first Flash movie. They're already gonna do that. But after that, they're gonna recast. But yes, um, now they are gonna make the first Flash movie with Esmer Miller or whatever the hell his name is. So yeah, they are. Thank you, Janet. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. It was a pleasure as always to sit there and see you in the chat. I'm sorry, I gotta get used to calling you Jay Z. It's gonna take a minute, but I will get there. So thank you, Mel. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you, Clark. You're a rock star. I always appreciate my regulars as well as new people coming into the chat. This was a hell of a lot of fun. So we'll be back here tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Have a great night, everyone. Stay safe, and I look forward to seeing you on the next stream.